These are my voice warm-ups. Hello everyone and welcome to Sorta My Podcast. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin the Human. Sitting to my right,
James Odle, Alphaspecter.
Guys, before we get started, like our nerd news page, Sorta My Comics on Facebook, and follow Sorta My Podcast on Instagram. Check out Subject to Change Entertainment on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, subscribe on YouTube and SoundCloud. If you're checking this out on one of those, while here, why not like, comment, and share? Sharing is the best way to get us out in front of people, letting people know you enjoy what we're doing. And of course, all of our personal social media is down in the description below. Alphaspecter, how you been?
I've been.
You've been?
Been doing stuff. Been playing a lot of Fortnite here lately with my friend Kyle.
Oh yeah?
I'm actually starting to get halfway decent at it.
Nice.
This is a game, when I first started playing it, never thought... Like, when it was first described to me, it actually, PUBG is what was described to me, and the sound, I was like, well, that sounds kind of cool, but I don't know how much I would actually play a game like that.
Right.
You know, now that I'm playing with a buddy and, you know, learning different things about it and all that, it's like, okay, I'm really getting into this. And it's more because, like, they have weekly challenges and daily challenges and stuff like that. So these new challenges come out, and it's like, okay, you have to get 3 pistol eliminations. Okay, that shit's not easy.
No.
Or you have to open so many chests of loot at a certain location. If you try to do that the week of, you're in a shitstorm of people all trying to get these chests.
Yeah.
And it's nuts, and it's exciting, and
I started playing myself recently. I've been playing with my kid, actually. I bought a headset and everything just for this, because I'm not a gamer. I don't there's no reason for me to have a headset unless, like, motivated by something like my kids. And so I bought this, and I've even been playing with some of his friends, and I'm still garbage. And the things you're talking about, the challenges and stuff, that's wildly overwhelming for me with all the shit I have to do in my life. So I'm just kind of, like, casually playing, which this is not the kind of game you should be casually playing.
You jump on, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna just float down to a random area. Hey, there's a gun. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, we did last night, me and my son's friends did a little, I don't know what it's called, what the mode is called, but it was just us in the game, and we couldn't kill each other or whatever, and so we were building these ramps as high as we could, and then we were fucking around with golf carts, and it was just fun. Yeah. That's all it was. It was like no like challenges or anything like that. It was just we were fucking around with go-karts, but that was fun. Did you see Teen Titans Go to the Movies?
I did not see the movie, but I know what happens.
You heard it. You heard it here, folks. Alphaspecter hates the original Teen Titans cartoon and doesn't want it to come back, so that's why he wasn't willing to give them his money. He wants to see the whole thing die. Yes, I did.
So you know that you just fed them one giant load of bullshit just to give me hell.
We don't know that, okay? All right, so we'll cover this for like 30 seconds, I'd say. You want to skip ahead 30 seconds, you don't want to know what's at the end, go ahead and skip. But honestly,
if you haven't seen it everywhere by
honestly, you might as well just listen to it here. Don't sit through the whole fucking movie. But it's like I did. But anyways, no, there's like they're trying to get a signal through and shit, and they're like, it's the original cartoon, and it's they're like, Titans, I think we found a way back. They say, I think we found a way back. That doesn't mean it's definitely coming back. And that every single star in that thing said that if it's a hit, that show will come back. So if that movie like underperforms, we may not see it.
It's coming back, because the thing is,
you're very hopeful, but we're talking about Warner Brothers here,
Just take the fact that it's Warner Brothers off of the table, and we'll get the original Titans back.
They bailed on the original show for this one.
I know.
So if that shows you their decision-making abilities, of course, like, if this underperforms, it's totally plausible. They'll be like, nah, fuck that, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So, I also saw Christopher Robin, and that was very heartwarming. It's so...
That's what I've heard.
Simple. And, like, even the, like, worst stuff that happens is just, like, your lowest bar, like, terrible thing that could happen. There's no, like, shocking or, like, dark stuff, really. I mean, there's kind of dark stuff, but it's like kid dark. It's just joyous and fun. You leave the theater smiling. I did. And I think people should definitely go see this. It's gonna warm your heart. You're gonna hear a little music, and Winnie the Pooh's awesome. This is all good. This is all good. Yeah. Go to the fucking movies, asshole.
I don't have the money or the capabilities to go to the
Tuesday, all day. It's $5. All day.
Tuesday is usually the day that I go and get comics for both me and you.
Go on Wednesday. Quit your job. Quit your job, suck dick for money, and use that money to go buy comics and watch movies.
Only in a perfect world, Ben. Only in a perfect world.
No, that is a world you could be living in, so don't say perfect world. You just have to kind of give up on everything else that's important to you.
And, well, where we live, that's pretty common, actually.
Where we are located, this is a viable option for you.
Yeah, you just go down to the trailer park, and there you go. And speaking of trailers...
Yeah, good segue. We've got a few different trailers to talk about. First one, we're going to talk about the new Venom trailer. And with this one, I think they took it one trailer too far. That's my personal...
I don't think they took it one trailer too far. I think that this is another case of they are responding to the people. It's like, okay, well, you guys aren't happy with what we've given you so far. So here's everything.
And people hated this. So many more people hated this trailer than they've hated any other trailer. But, no, like, I think they've scaled it back from when Spider-Man Homecoming was coming out, and they were putting out scene here, clip there, scene here, clip there. Here's 8 fucking trailers. You know, it was like insanity how much was out there of this movie before you even went and saw it.
Yeah.
And so they've scaled it back from there, and that's what I loved about this, was that in the teaser and the first trailer, you just got morsels. Like, there's so many questions left on the table, and this is why I think this is one trailer too far, because I don't really enjoy this trailer very much, and it kind of, like, kills everything they had done before. This whole mystery they had built up.
And that's exactly what it is. The teaser was a perfect teaser.
Yeah.
It was. If you didn't know that it was a teaser for the Venom movie, you wouldn't have known that it was going to be a Marvel movie.
And this one has me doing a complete 180, because when we were talking about this film just being in production and stuff, I was like, oh man, that's going to suck. They're going to ruin it, blah, blah, blah. I'm totally underwhelmed. The more they teased me, the more excited I got for the film. And now this one's out.
And now they've given us way too much.
I've got another bitter taste. I'm like, man, this really could suck, couldn't it?
Like, there are a couple of things from the trailer that made me wonder if, like, some of the humor is going to be off.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the last part of
that
the trailer.
Stinger at the end, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate a turd in the wind. You know you're making a Venom movie, right? Like, there's that part where he's talking about, like, spleen, lungs, pancreas, so many parts, so little time. I'm like, that fucking Venom.
That was great.
And then you do that shit at the end, and I'm like, no, that's like teenager Venom, and nobody wants that.
Now, here's what I'm wondering, is the symbiote going to kind of mature as the movie goes on? Maybe this... Like, trying to give this scene the benefit of the doubt.
No.
This is like...
I refuse.
I don't know. But then there are parts of this trailer where, like, the symbiote is coming off of him and forming the Venom head talking.
Well, yeah, there are definitely, like, cool imagery in here. I think Venom is appropriately big.
He's appropriately big, and he looks, like, as far as the face and emotions and all that goes... very spot
expressions
on.
and stuff. We also got kind of like an idea of how he's gonna move, because one of the big things is like, how are you gonna do like full-on Venom without him interacting with Spider-Man? And in this, we see him like very animalistically crawling and leaping and stuff like that, and so it begs to show that like that's how things are going. Because, and then people have also very ignorantly been like, well, how's he like whipping himself around if he's never interacted with Spider? Those are tendrils, man. He's always been able to. They all do that shit. So there's your explanation for that. But
and we get to see a lot more, and I kind of feel we get to see too much symbiote action in this, not just with Venom. But we see a pretty good chunk of Riot in this one, and the other ones.
Well, I think the one with the big blades that like cuts through all those people.
Riot.
That was Riot. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that was Riot. And then we only saw one other from what I could tell, and it's the chick with the bladed hand.
It does that, and then that's the same one that shoots like the spikes out of her back and all that. But then there's also, we see the guy in like the
we
cell.
see it.
He gets engulfed by
but
one,
with those
we don't see that go any further.
Yeah, with those two, we don't see them in like full symbiotic mode. They're just like, it's just little snippets of what they're doing.
There are going to be multiple like symbiote enemies,
and that's something we covered that on the show and stuff. So we knew that was coming at least. But what has me concerned about Riot is they have that fight, and when you were watching the trailer a little earlier, you paused it and told me to look at it, that it's the Doctor inside of there.
The Doctor has become the Riot symbiote.
We've gotten that giveaway. I don't think that was covered before now. I don't think that was news, and now right there it is in the trailer. But I could be wrong about that. It could just be I forgot or whatever.
It could simply be on IMDb. Yeah, we haven't noticed it.
But that little fight, little concerning, because like how much is moving. It's kind of like the Transformers movies. When those characters fight, it's like disorienting because there's so many pieces just moving around. You can't really make sense of what you're seeing half the time. And I get that feeling from that just little snippet there. Like, they had a cool
not being on this. You know, I don't quite have that much of a worry. No. But I understand what you're saying. Like, and especially when the symbiotes are like ripping each other apart, when Venom and Riot are tearing each other apart. You know, there's a lot going on there where you see like part of each of the hosts. There's just a lot of tendrils and everything everywhere when they're just coming apart. And I assume they're going to come back together.
Although it was cool to see Riot kind of rip Venom's head off.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool to see. I mean, the trailer isn't devoid of cool imagery, but that's like all this gives. Like, other than that, all it does is make me concerned for the quality of the film. I also really hate Eddie Brock's voice. Like, the more I hear it, the more I fucking hate what Tom Hardy's doing there.
See,
the guy's like fucking 6 foot whatever, and he's obviously built, but he sounds like a Brooklyn dork. Like, what the hell? Like, just use your regular voice, Tom Hardy. Nobody's gonna fucking sue you over it, man.
Yeah, but that was kind of Eddie Brock. He was a journalist for the newspaper.
Yeah,
really,
but that doesn't
nothing major about him, and he's not quite.
So he can't use his regular voice then? I mean, you want to throw on a Brooklyn accent? That's fine. Go for it. But like, I mean, do you have to go that far? It's just grating. Like, the more I hear it, the more annoyed I am.
I mean. I don't know, and like we were talking, like, just, it's some of the phrasing, I think, that gets used in this is off-putting.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Some of it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but then some of it's like, I really want to see this. So it's like, you're going to sit there.
I'm not even walking away going, I really want to see this anymore. I'm just like, I'm going to see this.
You're going to go into the movie theater.
Like it or not.
With a scowl on your face.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I give every movie a fair shake. I go see the movies, and I've been surprised before. Ninja Turtles was a great example. It was the first Michael Bay one. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on from there to Constantine, City of Demons, the movie trailer. It seems Constantine is finally going to right his biggest wrong and save Trish, who was a big plot point in the live-action series. One of his biggest regrets and stuff. But there's so much going down in the trailer that it's kind of hard to pinpoint it.
Yeah,
so
it was a cool trailer.
It was cool. So what I did was I grabbed a little synopsis here. I'm going to read that off for everyone. And it goes, "The path to redemption is never easy, and if Constantine is to succeed, he must navigate through the dark urban underbelly of Los Angeles, outwit the most cunning spawns of hell, and come face to face with arch-nemesis Nurgle, all while battling his own inner demons," as he's known to do.
On the regular.
Yep. And something else I found interesting in researching a little bit about the movie, it turns out, and we've talked about this before, Constantine City of Demons was that show that went up on CWC.
Was it?
That animated one with Matt Ryan, who's returning in this. And I guess this is why it says the movie so specifically at the title screen of the trailer. Huh. So I assume it's some sort of film conclusion to that one season, because the City of Demons only had one season.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Something to maybe wrap that all up.
Kind of like Firefly and Serenity.
Yeah, especially because Constantine is joining Legends of Tomorrow as a regular character. Also, again, portrayed by Matt Ryan, who's he's our quintessential Constantine at this point.
You can't really have one without the other now because of how well he performed in the live action.
God, he nailed it. Everything I thought Constantine would be, like, he personified as best you can for, like, a PG CW show.
And then, he was in an episode of Arrow?
He was in one episode of Arrow, one or two episodes of Arrow.
And it was great in 2 episodes, Yeah. And then the animated short, so it's like, he's Constantine.
He's Constantine, at least as far as Warner Brothers is concerned at this point. Which means they should just bring I really hope what they're doing with Legends of Tomorrow, and I totally agree with putting him on that team, because that's just going to be a lot of fun there. But what I think they're doing is they're field testing him again with audiences and seeing how audiences respond to Legends of Tomorrow based on his inclusion, and then maybe might just get a second season.
I feel like we will.
And you know what they should do? They should just, to stick by their guns with City of Demons, just go like, it's season 3, because City of Demons was season 2. It doesn't have to make sense. Just suck a dick.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Let's move on to the news, though. We got some updates on Pokemon Let's Go. A couple of trailers that hit, which one was American, one Japanese, and we got an idea some more what's going to be in the game. First off, Jesse and James, they're in there. Can't wait for that. That looks awesome.
I really kind of want voice acting in this one, just to hear that.
It would be nice, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. It looks like it's going to be all text box again.
But for something like that, now, is Meowth there?
I have to assume? I hope. We didn't see him, did we? Yeah, because there was a little bit of a battle sequence with them. They used the Coughing and the Ekans, the classic Pokemon for them. But no, didn't see Meowth at all.
So maybe they're gonna keep that a little secret, tucked in their back pocket, and be like, they're gonna do their little spiel, and then it'll be Meowth. That's right, and he just pops in.
It's been stated a few times that this is largely based off of Pokemon Yellow. Yeah. So, do you remember Meowth being a part of their situation? I think he was one of the Pokemon that they used, but you never saw him with them.
But he wasn't like a member.
Yeah, it wasn't like your Pikachu that would run around with you.
Wait,
which they should have done that. They should have had Meowth just running around with Jesse and James. Like, like Pikachu runs around with you.
Was he even part of theirs? Because I know Giovanni had
Persian. No, I'm pretty sure because they would use Coughing, Ekans, and Meowth. Like early in the game, that was their 3, and then I think they get a couple later. If you know, listener, comment down below if you know for sure. I mean, we could probably Google it, but nah, fuck it.
Why would we Google it when we have such knowledgeable, amazing listeners?
Right? The illustrious 10 is on this. They got us. We also got some more movement animations. 2 I wanted to note specifically were Venusaur, which is just awesome that he hops like a toad. I think that's just super fucking cool and funny.
The whole Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, they are based on toads.
Yeah.
So
it's only appropriate, and I'm just glad to see it in action for the first time. And then the other one that caught my eye was Starmie. Starmie just kind of floats and spins behind you. It's a little wild. It just tells me that every Pokemon's gonna get their own special treatment when it comes to being your partner Pokemon and following you around and shit.
See, with Starmie, I can kind of understand that because you never really see Staryu or Starmie just standing there. Like in the show, I remember the battle in the pool.
Yeah,
they're standing on the platform, but anytime they did anything other than water gun, they weren't just standing there.
You could cartwheel. You could assume they could cartwheel.
Oh yeah,
that would have been interesting.
So. While we're on the topic of Starmie and Staryu, is a Starmie just two Staryu that got stuck having sex?
I thought we were going to do is Staryu gray or purple?
No.
Because that was an argument I had with someone once.
No.
I think it's purple. But
it's purple.
It's purple. That's weird. Yeah. That is weird because it does kind of look like that's the case.
Yeah.
Listener, comment down below.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah. We also got to look at Lieutenant Surge's gym. And as noted in one of the videos we watched, though, the trash cans are blue and red. 2 of the trash cans are blue and red. And the reason that's got me upset is because I don't want them to take that puzzle out. The puzzle of Lieutenant Surge's gym. You remember that?
Well, now see, here's my thinking on that. Is maybe they're going to kind of combine a Koga gym kind of thing with this and have some kind of wall system to where you can't just walk up to it.
That would be a little cheap, though. Because you're
Koga's gym.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that in Koga's gym too.
Or maybe it's just gonna be one of those here's the trash cans, but there are they're going to add invisible, electric fields or something to where you have to maneuver through to get to them.
I just don't want them to make it... I just don't want to make it dumb and easy.
Right.
Give us the challenge, give the kids the challenge. You don't need to smooth this out for them. They can figure it out. If they can figure out Fortnite, they can figure out this.
Right?
We also got to look at the SS Anne. I am excited to get inside that thing, man, because
I'm excited to get inside Anne.
Oh, yes. That sweet sea mistress Anne. But,
full of all that,
looks
all
huge.
Those semen.
The SS Anne is huge, as we got to see in the trailer and stuff. So what's got me excited is how big is it going to be on the inside? Running around that thing is going to be way more fun than it was back in the day in the old handhold.
You have your little, your line rooms, line that. That's all there was. This, if it's going to be how I'm hoping. It's going to be you're going to have a full-on yacht experience.
That would be real fun. I can't wait for that. And the biggest reveal of these trailers, I think, is Mega Evolution.
Yeah.
Something I'm very surprised to see in this, although there are plenty of Pokemon with Mega Evolutions in the first gen. It just didn't seem like they were really going to deal with that at all. And
now,
here it is.
This also leads you to think, okay, this is going to be the first... I guess you could call it next-gen Pokemon game. Because this is on a new system, updated and all that. Could they, instead of releasing an annual game or something like that, do like what they've been doing, say for Pokemon Go, and just release updates for the game that add like the next. Well, or hell, even for like $10, get the next region and the Pokemon for that region. And we
actually flirted with that like so many times, like getting to this point, because there were so many little hints and drops, and every time there was, we would sit there and be like, "What do you want to see in the game?" We've run the gambit on that, but I think with this, it's more of a situation like, here's a taste. Like, Pokemon Go is a big thing. Here's a game to go with Pokemon Go, and to give you an idea of what we're doing moving forward with console. Because they do have that secret project set for next year. And so I have to assume, like, that is either Gen 8, Gen 9, whatever they're on now. That's going to be the next generation, or it's going to be something like what you just said, where it's going to be first gen, and then
almost like an expansion.
You buy expansions to get into the next gen and this gen.
Either way they do that. Even like every 6 months they release. Okay, so we have the Kanto region. In 6 months we get Johto.
Yeah.
6 months after that we get whatever the fuck the next one was, and like we just
Hoenn, I think.
Yeah, the Hoenn region, and it just keeps progressing with generation.
That would be
location, and all
really
that.
awesome, and especially if it. And I'm starting to give up hope for this because I honestly don't think it's going to happen. But especially if it is a full-on open world Pokemon RPG.
You have your, and the thing is, it's like everywhere you go, like each expansion you go, you start over.
Yeah.
But all of your Pokemon,
I don't even think you should start over. I think your data should translate.
Okay, maybe not necessarily start over, but it's like, okay, in the Kanto region, that's the Kanto computer system. So you have your Pokedex that registers all Pokemon. Like, you update your Pokedex,
right?
But the computer systems, you can't take like your level 80 Pokemon from the Kanto region into the Johto region and start a brand new quest there, going up against a level 13.
Well, they could just adjust it could have some sort of adjustment system in it that it acknowledges here's where you are, here's what we need to make the wild Pokemon and shit like that. But even more than that, because in Skyrim, if you see a giant off in the distance, you have the opportunity to walk away. The giant doesn't just pop out. And with this Pokemon Let's Go game, it seems like that there are going to be no random encounters. They're going to be right there on the screen.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see is a full-on 3D. It doesn't have to be Skyrim graphics. It could be cute, cartoonish type graphics. But I want a full-on RPG open world thing to where you're running through the woods, you see a fucking Victreebel all the way off in the distance. You have the decision whether you want to go up and check that thing out, battle it, whatever, or avoid it, Like
that I can understand, but what I was meaning is
I want that.
Lock out the Pokemon.
Yeah, I know. That would be so shitty, though.
But
what's the point? Then just make a new game. Fuck it. What's the point in having it as an expansion if you can't expand into it?
It would almost take the fun out of the expansions.
Yeah.
Because if you go in... No, if you can take, your level 100 Charizard into a level 1, essentially, starting area, because there's not going to be much of a way... Because the Pokemon are what level? So unless they, lock out, you can't bring Pokemon above level 15 into this gen, something like that.
I fully understand what you're saying. I'm not confused or anything. I'm just saying, what's the fucking point? If you're not going to be able to use these Pokemon until you beat that next region, what's the point in having them? They're just shit taking up space at that point. You also have to consider, do you have a partner Pokemon? Is that not gonna be able to come? What would be the point when they could just make a whole other game and then you go buy that? Because there's no reason not to have those Pokemon with you. No sensible game would have you go to another region.
Gym badges.
Yeah.
Fucking gym badges. if you don't have the badge from like the starting, you have to have the gym badges of that region for Pokemon of whatever level to obey you. Just like it is. So if you trade me a level 75, but I haven't gotten like a badge to control that.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, okay, you can bring your Pokemon over, but all of a sudden now they're not going to listen to you. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense either. Again, what's the point?
So you have to utilize the Pokemon of that region where you're at.
I think it would be so much simpler for them to just program the game to acknowledge the level that you're at. Or maybe even, like, so much so that it's not as easy to go and grind and get your Pokemon to level 100 in, like, 6 months, you know? Like, and maybe if you only have, like, 1 or 2, and the rest are all still, like, straggling behind. But I think it should be easier.
EXP share thing now?
Yeah, one, they could always take that out of the game.
Yeah.
But I think it would just be easier if they programmed it to do the math. And it's like, okay, you're starting this new region. Your Pokemon are all like level 30 to 60. So we're going to raise the levels of the gyms and the wild encounters and shit like that.
See,
that would just... I feel like the programming would be easier.
Well, I would be all for that, but that would... I feel like that would require more programming on their end.
I don't see why, because it's all it's just the math. It's just math. It's just programming math into it. That's it. Rather than like building an entire system to lock out Pokemon or change the demeanors of individual Pokemon, like that just sounds more complicated than like let's make the system do math.
I don't know. I'm not a programmer. I don't know which one's easier.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know, but either way, I'm excited for the upcoming game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for whatever's coming in 2019. Like, I already paid fucking, $300 for a console, so I'm in the lurch now. Moving on from there. Disney gave us a lot of streaming service info recently, and we got a lot of articles that came out covering some of this stuff. Things that are coming to the service was one of the stuff. Some of this was already known, but some was not, and so I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit of a list here. We've got an adaptation of the novel Stargirl, Anna Kendrick's comedy called Noelle, don't know anything about that. The live-action remakes of Dumbo, Lady and the Tramp, and The Sword and the Stone are projected to be on there. A television series based on Monsters, Inc., and one based on High School Musical. Jon Favreau's Star Wars series, which will be exclusive to the platform. Captain Marvel and Avengers 4 are also said to be on the platform at launch. And, of course, select titles from, like, the deeper Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars lineup and stuff.
Yeah.
However, 2 things were said that are definitely not going to be on the platform, and that's any of their R-rated properties or any Star Wars films released in 2019 and prior due to the current deal with Netflix that they have. So they got to pretty much wait for that to peter out and not renew it before they can put it on their own stuff. So I don't know how long that's going to take them.
That kind of makes you wonder, is that Netflix deal, would that be more beneficial for them to continue that and have like these films and series and stuff through there, or would they make more money having it on their own service?
No, I think Star Wars is such a big pull and property for them that it would be more beneficial to bring it over to their platform rather than continue to let Netflix have it. So, like, let's say they have Netflix doing it, and all people want are Star Wars stuff. And this is like an extreme idea. Right, all people want are Star Wars stuff. Why would they ever move over to the Disney platform for their Star Wars stuff when they could just get it right there on Netflix? So by pulling everything back and making it exclusive to their platform, they're raising potential for sales.
That's true. Now, what do you think they'll do with the the Netflix Marvel?
Well, because they said they're not going to bring anything R-rated over, that means to me that they're going to be watching like probably some PG-13 stuff too. They're going to make it more family friendly.
I was gonna say, I don't think Jessica Jones or Luke Cage could make the cut.
Yeah, no. So I think this gives us hope for the Marvel Netflix shows, because there was that big question, like, what are they going to do with them? You know, we do know we're supposed to be getting Daredevil Season 3, Iron Fist Season 2 is right around the corner, and so we've got those locked in, but we got no news outside of that. And so I think it's safe to say that they're going to continue and they're going to stay on Netflix, just with everything that's been going on.
I would hope so, because it wouldn't make much sense to move them, because they are Netflix original series.
Right.
Like, that's been their big advertisement shtick.
Well, yeah, and they even have the Punisher. That doesn't belong on a family-friendly Disney service.
So I'm pretty confident in saying that the Netflix Marvel shows are going to stay Netflix Marvel shows. I
think that's a safe bet. Disney CEO Bob Iger also announced that the service is available late 2019, so it's coming up. That's not too far away. And that it'll likely be cheaper than Netflix due to the lower volume of content. So that's got me pretty excited. Like, we already got great news with the DC Universe streaming service. Yeah. Like, that being $7.99 blew us away. So
I'd say it'll be anywhere from $5 to $8.
If it's said to be cheaper, if we got the CEO saying it'll likely be cheaper, which is not him saying it definitely will, but honestly, like, if they go above $7, like, they're already contending that statement. So I think they're going to shoot for anywhere between 5 and 7.
Yeah, because, I mean, I know Netflix now is almost $12 a month.
Yeah.
So if they want to compete with the DC service, which is, you know, they're offering a lot of similar type of content and stuff like that, minus the shop and comics that DC is boasting for $8 a month. I could see them staying in like the 5 to 7 range because of, as he said, the lower volume of content.
Yeah. And with the way they bend their customers over a barrel on the Disney Movie Club, which I know firsthand, you know what? You could ease up a little bit there, Disney. Let's make it $5. Come on. Cool $5 and you got me for sure.
Like, you know what? Not $4.99, $5.
Just $5
even.
I'll give you the extra penny. I don't care. Just let's make it $5 even. Let's call it a day. Cool, Lincoln. As a side note to this story, though, there was other pretty cool Disney news. And the Wall Street Journal actually reported on this, that Disney intends to release every Fox film completed or in production at the time of the acquisition. The newspaper's sources contend that Disney will likely take over Fox's biggest franchises, like Avatar and the X-Men, and scale back production on the pricier features, but there's no details on what those features are yet. So I'd say like things like The Simpsons that are a part of this deal, like they're probably going to do something with that, but something like, let's say they got the rights to Futurama too, and they're probably not going to deal with it.
No.
They probably have no reason to.
Which kind of gives you, like how we talked about Matt Groening's new show not being aired on regular TV. I think that's kind of a good thing for him now.
Oh yeah, like this deal could be him stepping away from any Fox-related property after this point. Like, I mean, there's always going to be the Matt Groening style, which is evident in Disenchantment, or whatever it's called. But still, like, I could honestly see this being the end of Matt Groening being a part of The Simpsons. Yeah. I think this could be his out.
Without him, what are The Simpsons, though?
Better, like 15 years ago. At least if you ask him, I haven't watched a new Simpsons episode in nigh on a decade at least.
It's been a while. The Simpsons movie was one of the last Simpsons movie things I've seen.
Which I heard news that they're going to be talking about a Simpsons sequel too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I also heard a Bob's Burgers movie is in the works. So
live action?
Probably not.
Damn. I kind of want to see it translated into live action.
You can see H. John Benjamin dressed up like Bob. Like, I can totally see him in that role live action. The problem, though, is that a lot of the females on the show are voiced by men. Yeah, so there's where you run into a bit of a hiccup. And they're all voiced by adults, so the children are, like, completely have to be recast. So no, let's go ahead and make that animated.
Yeah. No, just dress all of the voice actors like their characters. It'll be like an Austin Powers movie.
Yeah, sure, why not? We also got a few updates on the whole James Gunn situation. Not so much progress on his part, just some more people speaking out on his behalf. Starting with Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Sean Gunn, Pom Klementieff. I think that's how you say it. Klementieff. She plays Mantis. And Michael Rooker, all signing a joint statement. We're going to include a link below to the full thing, but I did grab a little bit of a paraphrased version here that I'd like to read off of you. The statement says in parts, "We fully support James Gunn. We are not here to defend his jokes of many years ago, but rather to share our experience having spent many years together on set making Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. The character he has shown in the wake of his firing is consistent with the man he was every day on set, and his apology, now and from years ago, when first addressing these remarks, we believe is from the heart, a heart we all know, trust, and love." Chris Pratt also wrote on Twitter accompanying this statement that, and I quote, "he would personally love to see him reinstated as the director of Volume 3. However, Dave Bautista took it a few steps further in the days to follow, and he's been very outspoken since this happened. And he went out and tweeted on the 5th of August, and I quote, "I will do what I'm legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn just isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also pretty nauseating to work for someone who'd empower a smear campaign by fascist cyber Nazis." Now, what he means by cyber Nazis is he's referring to the alt-right provocateur Mike Cernovich, who uncovered these old tweets. He's the guy that got this whole thing started.
Right.
Then Bautista told Shortlist in an interview, and I'm paraphrasing this one also, "Nobody just defending his tweets. Chris Pratt wanted time to pray and figure it out, but I was more like, fuck this is bullshit. If Marvel doesn't use the script, then I'm going to ask them to release me from my contract, cut me out, or recast me. I'd be doing James a disservice if I didn't." And according to Deadline's anonymous sources, even Marvel is trying to persuade Disney to rehire Gunn as director of Guardians 3. Now, my question in the face of all these updates, how confident are you that Disney is going to cave?
Honestly, with everything going on, with what we've discussed before, you know, Disney had to have done their homework and everything else, with the backlash that they're receiving from all this, not just from fans, but from the actors that are
One of the more recent tweets is from like right before he got the job doing Guardians. So they had to have known, and he made an apology at that time for those tweets. So they had to have known. There's no way they didn't. Hell, his first apology was probably like insisted upon by Disney. Like they're like, "Look, we're willing to do this with you, but you gotta shut this shit down."
So, but realizing the kind of backlash that they're receiving very publicly, you know, okay, these were brought to their attention by this guy or whatever, you know. Not until his, like, firing did we hear anything about any of this.
Now, what's strange here, though, is that usually it's the more hateful voices that are the loudest. Like, you usually hear the bad take over top of anything empowering or good, or, like, people being on the side of someone. Usually, like, something like this, you would be lost in a sea of people hating James Gunn, but it seems to be the opposite way around here. Now, my question about that is that motivated by how much people love the Guardians movies, or is it motivated by what people actually think about James Gunn?
I can see it being a bit of both. Because, you know, as Batista said, Guardians 3 is not going to be a Guardians movie.
Right, and I've had that feeling since the news came out.
You know, but leading up to this, you didn't hear anything about it. It just happened. The news came out.
You heard about it a bit back in 2012, but, like, at this point...
But that was, like, it was all...
But it was done. It was over with.
So now it's like, okay, well, these were uncovered. James Gunn's gone. It felt like it was that quick this time around. It was that quick. It really was. So now it's feeling like Disney made a very rash decision based on a very small group of people coming to them. And it wasn't even... I didn't see anything in the public about, like, these tweets being brought up or anything like that. Just the article that James Gunn has been fired because of these tweets that were made several years ago.
Well, now... But no, yeah, it was, like, the whole reason I got started was because Mike Cernovich, like, dropped that shit on Twitter. And, like, it was his way of trying to take down someone.
Exactly.
For whatever reason.
So,
I don't know what.
This one person kind of dropped this and it happened so quick. Now I think Disney's going to start seeing that they fucked up and they have angered a lot more people and are standing to lose a lot of revenue from the Guardians movie.
And if these anonymous sources are correct, and even Marvel, like, it's one thing for the cast. Like, the cast wants him to come back. Sure, that's fine. It's a whole lesser thing even because, like, I mean, look at how much hate The Last Jedi is getting, and, like, Disney is like, fuck you. Like, deal with it. It's there. So even the fans rallying for him is obviously on such a lower level for Disney. But with Marvel, the studio actually going to bat, if that's true, then yeah, I could see them turning this around. Because really, Disney probably doesn't want to look weak. They don't want to make a decision and then immediately dial it back. Although they are fucking Disney. So even if they dialed this one back, they don't ever have to dial another thing back if they don't want to. They don't have to dial this back. It seems like it's all on Disney. Like, what is Disney going to do?
And the thing is, it's like we've talked before. This happened, but the racist crows are still all
the racist crows are still in Dumbo.
Every version on DVD in your children's collection, the racist crows are right there. Where's that at, Disney?
Cinderella is not that great of a... Like, the whole morals behind Cinderella is, like, all she needs is for someone to give her everything and then a rich man sweep her off her feet. Like, that's why her life sucks. It's not because of, like, this horrible slave-owning bitch of a stepmother. No, it's because she doesn't have everyone handing shit to her. She's a pretty girl. Things need to be handed to her. That's like one of the core story elements of, like, what are more advertised characters, you know? So I don't know. That's not comparable to like pedophile jokes, but still.
I can see James Gunn getting reinstated.
I can see that happening.
He's made several apologies.
Now, if he doesn't, what do you think about Dave Bautista's stuff? Like, dude,
I think he's gonna bounce.
I think he needs to dial it the fuck back because, like, I feel like he's honest when he says, like, he wants, if they don't even use the script, because that's all he's, like, bottom of the line, we have to use that script is his thing. Like, it's not even, like, obviously he wants James to come back, but the statement accompanying, I want to either be let out of my contract, cut me out of release, or recast me, that's in response to the script. They have to use the script. And so there's something that I'm a little concerned about because we need Drax in these movies too. If we're not going to get James Gunn, we need Drax.
Well, And there again, if they use the script, that's going to be great. If he ends up staying on and James Gunn doesn't come back, I don't think we're going to get as good of a performance. Even with the same script, we won't get as
these are all professionals. Like, right. And maybe Batista phones it in a little bit, but everyone else is still going to bring their A game. Really, and I don't see them recasting him at all.
No,
Disney...
They couldn't.
Disney Disney Marvel Studios, after they established that this is a universe, the MCU is a thing, they started, like, contracting background extras as, you are now waiter number 2 forever in the Marvel Universe. You will never show up as a villain. You're never going to be a superhero. This is your character in this universe now. And
which kind of makes you a little disappointed in the fact that Bruce Campbell was actually a few different things.
That's in the Raimi movies, though. They're not connected to any of this.
I know, but what if they end up connecting them because a later acquisition of Sony, and then they turn around and make Bruce Campbell Mysterio?
Then what would be...
Anyway. But
Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Like, that would make no fucking sense.
Anyway.
Let's all just forget you said that.
They have recast, what? 2...
Early on, they recast a few things, like Thanos. They eventually recast for Josh Brolin. They recast War Machine. They recast the Hulk. And those are the big 3. I don't think they're the only ones, but any recasting has been done early on. And now they're, like... very locked in. So if they're going to do,
there are set.
So if they're going to do anything, they're not going to do costly cut-arounds of Drax. They're going to just fucking let him go if that's what it comes down to. You know, who knows how that's going to go. But honestly, I think dude needs to pull it back a bit, man. I love Batista, I love Drax in these movies, but you just need to rein your fucking self in just a little bit because you're fucking with Disney here. Like, you're trying to take on Disney. And Disney isn't the fucking WWE champion. They're gonna own your ass. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But moving on, something that interesting is a key word. Is a key word in. And guys, this is a little like out there for us. Usually we do a separate Sorta hour review, but we're going to inject this into the episode this time. Guys, this is sort of our review for Nickelodeon's Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the show we have covered a little news on and we have not been kind to. And
we're not going to start.
Within the first 35 seconds, I found something I hated. And it's the animation movement.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like how, like, it's kind of like it was made like the old school South Park episodes, but also with computers. Yeah. Like, it looks like it was made with stop motion paper and computers.
Just all around, like, character look. Like, just that first opening, the little fucking animal thing running. The way that everyone looked.
Little cat thing. I think they named it Mayhem.
I have no idea.
Shows how much you paid attention.
You know how important I deemed this? I watched it while I was pooping this morning.
Come on, man. Well, okay, but you were watching it.
Yeah, I was watching it.
Okay, well, still. You're like, well, why waste time on this individually? I can multitask here.
I mean, I was multitasking.
No, there was something I did. I liked the newish personality traits of the Turtles. Like, I mean, we've got iterations of the Turtles. If we want to go back on them in comic book form, in movie form, in show form, multiple times. Like, there are versions of the Turtles out there for us to love, and nobody's taken that away from us. So, if they have to be a little different, if they have to retool them, okay, fine. At least the personality traits work, but still, I overall dislike them as characters.
See, here's one of my biggest issues with them. Okay, I appreciated the fact that it made it look like they were going in to stop whatever was happening on this rooftop, but instead they were just jumping into a pool.
Yeah, I thought that was one moment where I was like, okay, we might be off to a good start here. That seems fun.
Everything that happened after that was just downhill.
Mm-hmm.
But the fight, when, like, the two guys transformed into the big demon-y whatever
at the construction site. Yeah.
And okay, so they're kind of getting their ass kicked because they seem to have...
Oh, by the way, this is, like, total spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, we don't fucking care.
Yeah. We're not going to watch any more of it.
Probably not.
We don't care if you hear good or bad about it.
Yeah.
It's bad. But, so these guys change. And they start attacking. And the turtles are just useless. Like, the one guy grabs Michelangelo, and Michelangelo just beats the shit out of himself with his nunchucks.
Yeah, he's trying to hit this guy, and all he does is he keeps, like, whacking himself in the back and of the head and shit. He's just fucking himself up like he's never used nunchucks before.
And, like, Leo, he's like, I don't need my swords. I still have my rad moves.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He breaks his swords, like, when the first 2 seconds of the fight.
Like, and who is it? It's Mikey and Raph. And they're like, Mikey, ninja mode, or something like that. And they, like, slink back into the shadows. I'm like, okay, that's...
See, we're onto something here.
And then they're just hiding behind the little, like, steel... Like, Raph is huge.
Yeah.
And he's hiding behind, like, a narrow steel beam.
And there's still, like, there's still plenty of light on them and shit. Yeah. Like, they're not full out in the light.
From one, it's like... Yeah. Well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I overall just dislike them as characters. Like, if they were trained, if they were the Ninja Turtles with these new personality traits, it would work. But they're not. They're fucking buffoons. They're, like, the dumbest teenagers ever. They're the kind of kids, like, if you had to equate them to human teenagers, you don't want these assholes around your daughter.
No.
You don't. These boys are fucking going nowhere, and you just need to distance everything you know from them. And it's not necessarily their fault, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I did want to say, Donnie is the only one who gets on my good side from time to time. If I had to pick one that's my favorite in this group, it's Donatello. Mm-hmm. He's actually better than other Donatellos.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, sometimes, like, he doesn't necessarily have a handle on his staff because it's some sort of titanium machine with, like, jet power in it or something.
Jet hammers on the end.
And occasionally his calculations are off and maybe his machine doesn't work, kind of like Donatello is. But more often than not, he's dead on the money. He's, like, made something cool. Like, he recognizes the situation.
He seems to be the most... I don't want to say, like, level-headed or...
He's got more common sense than the rest of them,
He has a lot more
sure.
common sense, and he's not... Obviously, he's Donatello. He's not stupid, but he's not stupid.
But he's not he's also not the leader. He's a follower. His brothers are going off to do this thing. He's going to go do that thing, too. And that's... that is also a teenager thing, like that, like falling into the wrong crowd. Donatello has fallen into the wrong crowd.
He really has.
I feel fucking sorry that these other turtles are going to drag him down.
Going away from the turtles for just a second. Splinter.
And that's where I say it may not necessarily be the turtles' fault, because fuck Splinter and this whole fucking thing. Like, and we only got to see him a little bit. Maybe this will change. Maybe this will change in other episodes. We'll never know. But what we did see was that he is lazy. He is verbally abusive. He's just a fucking asshole who hasn't taught them anything.
He is your stereotypical, like, drunk asshole uncle who sits in his recliner and yells at everyone.
He's been burdened with the task of raising these turtles. It's not his duty or anything. It's just some bullshit that got thrust on him, is the feeling I get here. Yeah. I absolutely hate Splinter. And I'll take a few points off of the turtles for that. They obviously come from, like, a broken, attention devoid home and shit. So of course they're gonna act out and not be that knowledgeable and shit. It's not like they actually go to high school. So what the fuck do they know? You know. So I'm a little sympathetic to why the turtles are such fuck ups, but at the same time, fuck that. That should never be a thing in the Turtles. I don't ever want to see the alternate reality version of the Turtles where Splinter was a dick. Like, I mean, maybe extra hard on them, kind of like he is in the other version of the Nickelodeon, the other Nickelodeon teenage, he's really hard on them. He's very stern and stuff. And he's got a lighter side to him, but he's strict, and he makes sure his boys are learning through failure sometimes. And just, he's a good father and stuff. Just a strict father. That's the only kind of Dick Splinter I want, is like a stern one. But God, this I could go on and on about how much I hate the Splinter. Let's talk about a character I actually really liked, April. How did you feel about April?
Like, outside of like some of the differences, she seems to be a lot younger than we're used to April being. You know, obviously there's an ethnicity difference, which this is the first time we've ever seen April anything but a
white
middle-aged white. Well, no, because she was a teenager.
Younger. She was younger in the last iteration,
Yeah, but I mean,
still, she was a white redhead, and now she is a black girl.
Yeah, she's like a younger black girl. I'm gonna put her between like 12 and 14. So I mean, she's kind of there in the same age range as the Turtles, I guess you could look at it. But as far as what she said, what she did, and what she appeared to be capable of, was kind of what you wanted to see out of the Turtles.
Yeah, well, now she does have her idiotic moments, and she does, like, she barely does much when she does anything, but she, like, the voice actress at least, has comedic timing.
Yes.
And that's something that's missing from the Turtles, is like, one, there's too many damn jokes. And when there is one that's legitimately funny, it falls flat because they don't deliver it well enough. Whereas April, like, when she's awesome, you enjoy it. When she's funny, you laugh. Like, I actually enjoyed her for what she is. And it makes her definitely stand out.
She was very brazen and headstrong, which, I mean, we usually get that from April O'Neil. So she does
that's
have
a typical April trait.
April personality, but it's like she seems pretty fearless already.
Now, another character that I enjoyed, Baron Draxum, which we've talked about before, voiced by John Cena. He was pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't hate that. And if you don't know that it's John Cena doing the voice, you're not really going to pick up on it.
No, not really. And he's got this, and it's probably the most interesting thing about the whole episode, is that they seem to be building some sort of story with Baron Draxum being responsible for the Turtles' mutation, and that there's a deeper plot and meaning there. And if there was anything that got me to watch the show again, get me to check out episode 2, it would be that.
Yeah.
Like, whatever that is, I kind of just want to see that with better Turtles. Like, can we just stop this now and then go back and start doing the other Nickelodeon iteration with this character? Like, I want that villain with those other Turtles.
This story, those Turtles.
Yeah. Because I'm still a huge advocate for the Nickelodeon show that actually had a really great run. It ran for years. It was good. And I love it. I love that story. It doesn't treat kids like they're stupid, while at the same time there's relatable things going on that any, like, 12 to 15-year-old kid could, like, really pick up on and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great show. If you haven't seen it, please check out that other Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles show. This, if you want to, it premieres on Nickelodeon September 17th. You can actually check out the first episode for free on YouTube now. I guess I'll leave a link in the description if you really want to put yourself through it.
It's there.
Yeah.
Do with it what you see fit.
Yeah.
If you just want to go on there and bash everyone on the comments,
even if you just jump over to hit the dislike button, like, that's cool too.
Go give it a thumbs down. I didn't even notice what it's up and down votes were.
Yeah, I didn't look either. I was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm done with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't bother rating it at all. It's not worth my time.
Nope. It's not worthy of a rating.
No. You know what is worthy of a rating? That's a terrible fucking segue, but it's time for the phone booth news.
It's time for the news, the phone booth news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the phone booth news, where we try to give you all the extra news that can't fit into the regular show faster than Deadpool can change his clothes, which gives us, gives me 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Okay, Odle, you got the timer up there?
Clock starts now.
No, don't do that.
Okay, fine.
Did you actually start it?
I did.
I was clearing my throat. I'm trying to get the spit out because it's going to build up during. Alright, whenever you're ready. In video game news, Bethesda announced Fallout 76 beta will be a full game in its entirety, and all progress made will transfer to the final game. Following Dragon Ball FighterZ Z, or however you want to say it, tournament at EVO 2018, Bandai Namco introduced Cooler as the next character to join the game's roster. In comics news, Scott Snyder has confirmed he'll be writing Justice League for at least 50 issues. In TV news, Netflix's BP Cindy Holland confirmed the third season of Stranger Things is coming next summer, 2019. Netflix also announced the October 26th premiere date for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Walking Dead co-star Tom Payne has confirmed Season 9 will pick up 1.5 years after Season 8. Warner Brothers has greenlit a reboot of Alf, the title character expected to blend these... fuck. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a technical error during
We do. We have hit the pause button, which means I'm still going to lose a few seconds. I'm not editing any of this out, as typical. My laptop keyboard has been problematic and now injects ones into everything unless I do a series of events that's really fucking annoying. So now I am erasing a bunch of ones from said document. Bear with us for a second. You know what? I'm just gonna reopen the script. That's what I'm gonna do here. That's the smartful. Oh my god, this is fucking awful. Jesus goddamn Christ.
None of this would be happening if someone hadn't spilled beer all over their computer one day.
All those many fucking episodes ago. I don't remember what that was. I think it was serious shit that happened.
It was.
Yeah, okay. Alright, start me back up here.
And resume.
Warner Brothers has greenlit a reboot of Alf, with the title character expected to be a blend of live action and CGI. CBS announced Sir Patrick Stewart will be returning to Star Trek in a new series that follows Picard in the next chapter of his life. The Doom Patrol DC Universe series has cast Jovian Wade as Vic Stone, aka Cyborg, and Diane Guerrero as Crazy Jane, a hero whose 64 distinct personalities each have their own superpower. While the CW has found its Batwoman in Orange is the New Black star, Ruby Rose. The Iron Fist Twitter account confirmed the second season will be 10 episodes rather than the Netflix norm of 13, and Iron Fist star Finn Jones revealed Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage, will not appear in Season 2.
Bullshit.
In movie news, Pokemon the Movie I Choose You has a sequel coming to the US in select theaters in November. Pokemon the Movie The Power of Us will focus on legendary Pokemon Lugia. According to The Hollywood Reporter, due to Paramount going back on its deals with Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, both actors have backed out of Star Trek IV, leaving the film's future in question. Hasbro, the new owners of the Power Rangers franchise, is planning a sequel to last year's film. Variety reports Ben Schwartz has been cast as the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in the live-action CGI film. Sony has scrapped the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie in favor of solo films for each character. And Deadline revealed that Warner Brothers and DC are developing a Supergirl film. And Matt Reeves' Batman film is set to start filming spring 2019, with Ben Affleck set to produce, although it's still not clear if he'll reprise his role. In other news, next month, Arrow's Stephen Amell returns to the Square Circle at the All In event at the Sears Center Arena, where he'll face wrestling veteran Christopher Daniels. And finally, Jonathan Bollerjack, who is helping with Stan Lee's affairs, told Bleeding Cool to be very clear, Stan is is 100% not doing any conventions / public signings. In the last few years, his well-being has been compromised by people for monetary gain, and that practice is over. And that is the news.
You beat it.
I beat it. Somehow I beat it with the bullshit interruption.
With all the bullshit. Now, if we'd have kept the time rolling, dude's dead. You're eating some Cherry Garcia ice cream.
Yeah.
But, factoring all that out, the phone booth news itself was completed in 3 minutes and 21 seconds today.
Not bad. Not bad. Knock off, there was, maybe a 10-second delay there between things fucking up and you actually hitting pause. So, that would have definitely cleared it. Awesome. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, guys. We're doing everything we can. We only have so much money. So if you'd like to donate a laptop of decent rapport to Subject to Change Entertainment, leave us a comment on down below and maybe we'll hook something up. I don't know why I'm doing that like a shock jock radio. Hey guys, we're taking laptops down here at the Subject to Change studios.
Bring any laptop, all laptops down. We'll take them. You get them out of your hair.
We're giving away 4 tickets to Hoobastang. You know what that means? It's time for the comic book review. Was that supposed to be like a slide whistle?
No, that'd be like...
Nope. Couldn't do it. There you go. Alright. Guys, we're moving on to comic books, the thing that brought us to the table. And this week we're looking at Fantastic Four #1, just returned. The first family of Marvel is back. This issue written by Dan Slott, penciling by Sarah Pichelli, inking by Pichelli and Elizabetha D'Amico, colored by Marte Gracia, and lettering by VC's Joe Caramanga. And again, VC's, this guy's popped up before. What is VC's? We really need to look into this. We need to figure out what the fuck that means. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the synopsis for this before we get talking about it. Since the end of Secret Wars, there's been a gap in the Marvel Universe. A void no other team can fill. And it's time for the world to move on. But can it? A life-changing decision by the Thing, a monumentous declaration by the Human Torch, a clarion call to arms that summons Doctor Doom, and a signal in the sky that heralds the return of hope to the Marvel Universe. Damn, I just gave myself chills.
Right?
Like, reading that off. Yeah, guys, we're checking out Fantastic Four #1 here. They're making their return. First off, I want to say there's a great tribute to Steve Ditko in the first couple pages of this issue before it actually kicks off with the story. Really, really enjoyed that. However, this issue does leave me wanting. Honestly, I think we could have done without the little subplot with the kids and the flare gun in lieu of seeing what was actually going on with Reed and Susan, which I'm sure they're going to do in the next issue or maybe subsequent issues past that. But really, just aside from the Ben and Alicia stuff, because I loved that. Like, watching them interact just made me happy. The proposal in the book. Sorry if you haven't. Should we do we almost never do spoilers in this. We really should, because this is a pretty new book. Yeah, so whatever, spoilers, I guess. Ben Grimm proposes to Alicia in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess this isn't the first time.
Oh, it isn't?
In their history. I guess this is
maybe in this continuity
they've been set up to get married. So maybe they'll actually get to.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Now, see, we should disclaimer before we get too deep into this. We're not Fantastic Four readers. No. Honestly, the team has never been all that interesting. The one issue, arc, it was 4 issues that I did pick up was Ultimate Fantastic Four, and it was a story called President Thor, and I picked it up because it was a story called President Thor. So I'm not going to pass that up, and it was actually pretty cool. But Yeah, really, unless they've been a part of whatever's going on, like Civil War, Marvel Zombies, Secret Wars, again, being brought up, I've never really taken notice of them, and it just felt boring. But we had this big return coming. I was very interested to see what the ramifications of Civil War was for them. Secret Wars, yeah. And Dan Slott's writing it.
Yeah.
And he's had years long an awesome run on Spider-Man. I've been reading quite a bit of it.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, he's gonna bring that talent over to Fantastic Four. I gotta check it out.
Now see, here's one of my things is I feel like we're kinda left I don't want to say empty-handed.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel, because neither you and I have read that Marvel 2-in-1 series they were doing with
and I feel like
Johnny Storm.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the avenues this book takes with hope and faith and stuff, they're probably a lot more important to the reader if you have read Marvel 2-in-1.
Right.
Which, again, we have not. And I did hear in preparation for this, before they announced this book, that there were things happening in that were going to herald the return of the Fantastic Four. And so I am a little regretful for not having read that. Right. In fact, it's not that many issues, I don't think.
I want to say maybe 4 or 6.
No, more than that, but less than 20 for sure. Maybe less than 15. But still, not that many issues. We should probably check that out.
I really feel like we should, especially because I feel like it'll give a lot more meaning to this.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there were some moments in this book where it's like, that signal flare goes off and Johnny Storm just stops
and
everything he's doing.
And that's a real old school pull right there. Is that Fantastic Four flare.
So, he takes off to go, and he's like, I knew it. They're back. He's going. Everyone has seen this signal flare. They're cheering him on as he's going. And then on the opposite side of that, you have Ben, who sees it, and he's just like, it's not real. I know what's going on, all this and that. And then Johnny gets there, and you can tell that he is just devastated to find out that it's just a couple of kids.
From what I understand, we have seen more than enough of Johnny Storm being upset by this whole thing, while at the same time maintaining hope that they're still out there, believing that they're still alive. That, again, something that I know has been touched upon enough in Marvel 2-in-1 to where I feel like if they had just scrapped that whole little story, which I honestly don't think is going to go anywhere past issue 1. I don't think this whole the kids stealing the flare gun, Ben Grimm ponying up for their lawyer, I feel like that's all just going to be right here in issue 1, and then we're never going to talk about it again. Maybe it'll get brought up in an argument between the Thing and the Human Torch, but otherwise, there's just nothing. They could have scrapped that and used those pages to tell us what's going on with Reed Richards and Susan Storm and their kids. That's what I want to know. If they're not going to become the Fantastic Four again in issue 1, I want to know what's happening over there, because I was led to believe by Secret Wars that the Fantastic Four are fixing the universe. That's what, Reed, Sue, and the kids are fixing the universe. Right. And now, from the little snippet we got of them in this, before they send the big, glowing 4 in space, the second symbol of the whole thing, and pretty much the ending of the main issue, I feel like they've been trapped somewhere, and I don't know how that's a thing. I don't know what happened.
I can't figure that part out either. Yeah. And I feel like
maybe it's a Marvel 2-in-1 thing, but honestly, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I feel like that's going to be one of those things that's revealed to us in issue 2. This one kind of gives us, okay, we have Marvel 2-in-1, so here's where the characters that we've already given you back are at.
But I feel like that's, and maybe it's arguable that it's necessary, I feel like that's holding the hand of those who haven't read it. And really, if it didn't do that, and it just gave, side nod mentions, and, especially the way things were progressing with Johnny and been without those kids in the flare gun, we would have been able to put it together ourselves. Don't you feel like it would have handled some of the substance issues in this if we got more of Reed and Sue? Like, that would have given us more of a taste of, like, this is what's going on.
See, me personally, I feel like what we got of Reed and Sue was enough to get me to read issue 2 to find out, okay, why are they there? Why can't they get back and all that? The whole, like, Yancey Street Kid thing, that I feel added to, or not, maybe not necessarily added to, but caused Johnny's breakdown when Ben asked him to be the best man. I feel like because he's tried to remain hopeful and all this and that, and then that happened and just kind of crushed him. Yeah. So when
push him over the edge. When
Ben's trying to continue on with his life without Reed and Sue,
I feel like just like, and I get that, and I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm like, wouldn't Ben getting engaged and asking Johnny to be his best man be enough right there with all Johnny's already gone through, with the lengths that he's gone to try and find these people? Like, couldn't that still be enough to break him?
But with what happened with that signal flare happening in what appears to be the same day as the proposal, that was fresh, it just happened, he's still... a very fresh wound reminder of they're still gone, and for him to explode like that and just take off and scream at the stars and then come back down and just break down. Yeah. I feel like that's why that signal flare piece was there, was to add a little bit more... I guess depth to that part.
And I guess I'll save my final verdict on which I'd prefer for issue 2, because really, if in issue 2 they're not going into what's going on with Sue and Reed, there's a problem. Okay, like, that's where they need to start giving us some information there.
So at the end of the comic, after like the big 4 in the sky, you didn't read the little extra comic strip thing, did you?
I read the Doom story, and I actually kind of liked it. I really
liked that.
I felt like it was a little lacking too, but that, like, I know what that was. I wanted to see Doom whoop some ass, and then it kind of just ends before he really does. But other than that, yeah, that was really good. That was a cool Return of Doom type thing.
Well, there was another one, and it was... Mr. Impossible Man or something like that. Yeah. It was drawn by Scotty Young. And basically it goes on, this little character is infuriated at the fact that the Fantastic Four comic is back, but the Fantastic Four aren't back together. And Marvel hands this character a note saying, don't worry, they'll be back together in the next issue. I feel like they anticipated the backlash of the Fantastic Four not getting back together, so they put this in at the end to reassure readers that the Fantastic Four are going to be back together by the end of the next issue.
Maybe it's Dan Slott playing the long game.
I feel like that's what he does, though.
I gotta fucking know what's been going on with Sue.
I feel like that's going to be issue number 2. Is Reed and Sue,
after you telling me about the Mr. Impossible thing, though, now I'm feeling like we're going to get some information, but they're going to dull this out. They're going to drag this out as long as they can.
It's not going to be one of those things. It's like, okay, so here's a recap of everything that Sue and Reed have done since Secret Wars. Here's a little bit of this. Here's some people they helped there, and then this happened, and they've been stuck here for however long, and, this is what's happened here. This is what they've been dealing with since they've been stranded. And then they get that signal out, and now they figure out a way to get everyone together. Yeah. And the end of issue 2 is going to be... The next to last page will be, like, the reunited page. And then the one after that is going to be, like, the incoming threat or something like that.
Reunited like a foursome should. Fantastic Four, and it feels so good.
That was a little bit better fix.
I trust Dan Slott's writing enough.
I do too.
And honestly, like, even though I'm a little underwhelmed by this issue, it's not enough to kill it for me, even unobjectively. But objectively, the reason I'm picking this up is because of Dan Slott.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the bigger reason. Of course I want to know what's been up with the Fantastic Four, but like, not enough to have really sold me on this yet. And then you throw Dan Slott in there, and I'm like, okay, not only am I going to find out, but it's going to be satisfying. It's going to be well thought out, and it's going to be character developing. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I really want. I want to see a Fantastic Four I can finally get on board with. And I think this is a slow start, but a decent start. And I feel, I hope, I have faith, much like the Johnny Storm, that this will turn out really well. And I can't wait to read the next issue. Out next month? Yeah. Early next month.
So, in a month from last Wednesday.
Yeah. So, because, like, I get a little thrown off because so many of the DC books I read, I'm getting every week.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, oh, God, when does Fantastic Four come out? And I'm pretty sure Spider-Man is still twice a month. Or did they go back to monthly since the new run?
I think they're back to monthly. I think they were...
I think that's the deal.
Yeah.
Because it feels like a good time passed between one and I just got issue 2. So, all right. Well, guys, if you want to check that out, a lot of comic shops still have it, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I know
it's not selling as well as people thought it would.
Well, it's the Fantastic Four, and that's the sad thing, is while the Fantastic Four movies, let's take the Fantastic Four movies, okay? The first two, Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, they underperformed because of the Fantastic Four. The first one definitely underperformed because it was the Fantastic Four. Now, that doesn't mean that the quality were good, they're unsung heroes or anything like that. They're alright. I enjoy them enough.
It was actually a good superhero movie for the time that it was released.
Yeah. Now, Fan4stick, total garbage fire. But again, I think some of its underperformance is due to the fact that it's Fantastic Four. There's not been a single Fantastic Four book in like years that has done very well.
Not since Jonathan Hickman's run.
They keep canceling and trying to revive it and stuff, and then they got rid of them for 2 years. And now here we are back. So if you really want to check this out, which I definitely suggest you should, I'm telling you, this is probably going to lead to some really great storytelling, and that's what you really want from your comics. Go to your local comic shop. They've probably got plenty of number ones on the shelves. Show some support so Marvel doesn't give up on these guys again. We can just keep getting these awesome stories from Dan Slott, because Dan Slott is fucking great. So that's going to do it for us on this episode. Odle, anything else you wanted to talk about? Any Alfs you wanted to Spectre?
Well, you did bring up Alf earlier.
Did bring up
I feel
Alf.
like it's a little unnecessary, but...
It is wildly unnecessary. Now, they are sequelizing it, though, because I guess at the end of the actual Alf show, he gets taken away by the government or something, and this is supposed to take place, like, decades later. Like, this is a continuation, I guess. Still unnecessary. The world does not need Alf. We are not in an Alf generation anymore.
We're not.
And
really not.
He predominantly eats cats. Like, he loves that shit. And now, one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to keep that as a thing, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. Probably get canceled based on that alone. Yeah. Because this is not the atmosphere for that. Or he's going to go, like, whatever the not eating cats version of vegan is. Which I think is stupid also. Like, it's all just stupid.
No, well,
you can't win
they
for
conditioned
losing.
him to not eat cats and instead eat carrots.
No. It's all... Everything about it is stupid. You can't tweak anything about this to make it not stupid, because even that tweak's going to be stupid. It's all just stupid. Don't do it. But what you should do is like this episode if you liked it. Subscribe if you loved it. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the bell below. If you want to know when the newest videos go up, comment your thoughts on any of today's stories, and please share this episode or anything else you enjoy from us on social media. And there's a new episode of Edible Obscurities up, episode 17, snack-flavored balls. It's where I find out if carnival flavors like funnel cake and cotton candy should probably stay at the carnival.
In this episode, you find out just how many balls Vinny can fit in his mouth at one time.
Oh, yeah. There's a great joke. I recorded a Diet Coke episode today, and I did what I think is a really great joke. It probably isn't. But you can tell me when the episode is up in the comments down below if you subscribe and click that bell icon so you can know when it's up. Anyways, my name's Vincent Herman the Human.
James Odle, Alphaspecter.
And cue that pointless 80s show outro music.